Hello guys, my name is Aiko. Me and my friend will tell you about the virtual tour guide in Madrid. And if you're interested to traveling in there, you can listen to us. Thank you and enjoy. Madrid is one of the most visited cities in Spain. Among its innumerable tourists, the famous one is the Royal Palace of Madrid. This cultural landmark has been a part of Madrid's tourism brochure for decades. Also known as Palacio de Oriente or the Madrid Palace. This majestic landmark is widely known for its rich history and captivating architecture. If you're planning a visit, I will tell you about it. Royal Palace was first built by Muhammad I, the Umayyad Emir of Cordoba. The initial structure dates back to around 860 and the new structure was constructed during the early 1700s. This place elaborate Baroque-style architecture, and the chief architect was Filippo Juara, known for his contribution to architecture in Italy, Portugal, and also Spain. This building was home to the Spanish royal family, and today it's used for ceremonies organized by the state. Construction of the present Royal Palace of Madrid began in 1738, took 18 years of completion. Covering a mammoth 1 million square feet of floor area, the Royal Palace of Madrid is one of the Europe's largest places. It also has a staggering number of rooms, over 3,400, while the interior are adorned with detailed decor and classic art pieces. The next building is Palacio de Cristal. The stunning glass Palacio de Cristal, or we can call it Crystal Palace, is an emblematic structure in Madrid's Park del Buen Retiro. It's currently used for temporary exhibitions of contemporary art. Palacio de Cristal of Retiro is one of the most beautiful and important example of iron architecture, not only in Madrid but also in Spain. Its metallic structure is completely covered with glass. It's surrounded by chestnut and bald cypress trees. Just in front of it, there's an artificial lake with a staircase that emerges from it. When it comes to the building plan, it's organized as a central nave, from which two arms emerge on the sides. The center is covered with a dome made entirely of glass and icon. I'll tell you about the history. The construction of the Palacio de Cristal fits into the context of the great exhibitions held during the 19th and early 20th centuries. More precisely, it was built in 1887 for the Philippine Island Flora exhibition. The architect was Ricardo Velasquez Bosco. He got the idea from the Crystal Palace in Hyde Park, London, which was built for the Great Exhibition of 1851. On the other hand, Velasquez Bosco designed it as a kind of greenhouse that would house different tropical plants. In 1936, it was used exceptionally as the inauguration setting of Manuel Azana as President of the Second Republic. It took place there as the Spanish Parliament was a small or that many deputies. At present, you can visit temporary exhibitions managed by the Reina Sofia Museum. The last one is Palacio de Cibeles. Palacio de Cibeles is one of the most notable landmarks in the city. Located in the Plaza de Cibeles and behind the famous Cibeles fountain, where the famous streets of Alcalá and the Plaza de Prado meet. The whole area is beautiful and lovely. The history of the building dates back to 1904 when it was decided that a new post office would be constructed. The site where the building currently stands was chosen and a contest was created to see which architectural firm would get to design the building. Three were considered. There were Felipe Maria Lopez Blanco and Luis Montesinos, Carrasco Saldana, and Antonio Palacios and Joaquin Otamendi. The building was officially inaugurated on March 14, 1919, with the name Catedral de Illas Comunicaciones. Luckily, the building managed to stand despite the bombings during Spain's Civil War. However, it did suffer some bullet holes and hits, which are visible today in some areas of the facade. Renovations were done to better building in 1990s and in 2003. The movement began, and changing the building from being the central post office to a government building, where the mayor would eventually hold office starting in 2007. The new name would be the Palacio de Cibeles, which seems appropriate considering the gender of the building. The palace was opened to public in 2011, and now visitors can enjoy drinks and dinner with a view on a terrace on the 8th floor. There's a space of exhibition, a grand hall for events, a library, and an area of the ground floor. The central cultural with couch, tables, and free Wi-Fi where locals and tourists alike can stop to escape the cold or simply take a little break to read a newspaper or surf the web. The outside of the building is often decorated with lights to celebrate holidays in Madrid like Christmas. Thank you.
Next, we have tourist attraction in Madrid. But before that, I will introduce myself first. My name is Lauren Agustin and I will explain about 5 top-rated tourist attraction in Madrid. First, we have Prado Museum, a truly world-class museum. The Prado Museum has a collection more than 1,800 paintings and 7,000 sculptures. Among its extensive assortment of artworks are many masterpieces, including celebrated paintings that rival the most famous works of the Louvre Museum in Paris. The Prado Museum displays around 230,000 pieces of the collections in more than 100 rooms on the 3 floors. Trying to see it all in one visit can be daunting, but it's possible to focus on a specific inventory of masterpieces. The next slide, we have Spanish painting from 12th century to the early 19th century from the majority of the collection. The assortment of paintings by Francisco Goya comprises a remarkable 140 works. Also not to be missed is Las Meninas, a depiction of a Spanish royal family of Felipe IV, created by Velázquez in 1656. Next, we have the Buen Retiro Park and Crystal Palace. The Buen Retiro Park, or Parque del Retiro, is an oasis of peace in the heart of Madrid. This lush and beautifully manicured park offers an escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. The park encompasses more than 140 hectares and is shaded by over 500 trees. Created for the Count Duke of Olivers in the 17th century, the historic park has an elegant ambience with its lovely landscaping and tree-lined paths. During the reign of Isabella II in the 19th century, the landscaping of the park was enhanced. The Parque del Retiro was owned by the Spanish royal family until the 19th century. Since then, it has been a public park. Next slide is the Crystal Palace. Built in 1887, the Palacio de Cristal or Crystal Palace is a splendid cast iron and glass pavilion that houses art exhibitions. The Crystal Palace looks out onto a graceful fountain and reflecting pool. Visitors will find other interesting fountains at Buen Retiro Park, including Los Galapagos or the Turtle, El Angelo Caído or the Fallen Angel, and La Alcacova or the Artichoke. A pleasant pastime among locals is going for a spin on a rowboat at the park's tranquil lake. Other favorite things to do include taking the kids to a puppet show at the Teatro de Tetires, talking walk or the scenic tree-lined path, and basking in the sun or relaxing in the shade at one of the park's outdoor cafes. Next slide is Royal Palace and Garden. On the left picture, we have Royal Palace. This grandiose palace is the Spanish version of Versailles, a royal court designed to impress. However, unlike Versailles, which is now just a museum, the Royal Palace of Madrid is still the official residence of a monarch, the King of Spain, and continues to be used for official state events. The palace was commissioned by Philip V in the 18th century. The majestic neoclassical facade is crafted entirely from granite and white columnar stone. The facade, Ionic column, and Doric pilatres are based on drawings that the sculptor Bernini originally intended for the Louvre Museum in Paris. On the right picture, we have Throne Room, a masterpiece of Rococo style. The Salon de Trono or Throne Room is adorned with frescoes by Tiepolo, including the greatness of the Spanish monarchy, one of his finest works. Still used for state government or ceremonies, the throne room is clad in sumptuous red velvet and decorated with valuable tapestries, mirrors, furniture, and chandeliers. Next slide is Plaza Mayor. This elegant 17th century plaza was built during the reign of Philip III and used as a center of commerce and municipal life, as well as the scene of ceremonial events such as the proclamation of a new king and the canonization of saint. The square also served as a venue for bullfight, dramatical performance, and nightly tournaments. Today, the Plaza Mayor continues to be an important gathering place in Madrid. The expansive cobblestone square is a pedestrian area surrounded by outdoor cafes and atmospheric restaurants shaded by its arcades. In the evening, the square takes on a lively ambience and is a popular hangout spot for both tourists and Madrileños. Last but not least, we have Puerta del Sol, Madrileños called the heart of the city. The Puerta del Sol was named after the sun emblem on the old city gate, which formerly stood here. This spacious stone square aligns with the rising sun, besides being a hub of public transportations with several bus stops and metro entrances. The Puerta del Sol is also known as Kilometer Zero Point, from which all distance on the Spanish National Road Network are measured. Nowadays, the square is placed to hang out and enjoy life. Lined with shops and cafes, the Puerta del Sol is still the one of liveliest square in Madrid. This of the Puerta del Sol is Madrid's largest department store, El Corte Inglés, which sells everything from clothes, shoes, and swimming suit to traditional Spanish. Also nearby the Puerta del Sol is La Violeta, an old-fashioned confection shop that offers the Madrid specialty of violet candies. So this is the last top 5 tourist attractions in Madrid, and my friend Jeremy will continue and explain about the famous restaurant in Madrid.
Gagan Restaurant Bangkok. Culinary tourism, pushing the remarkable experience of enjoying cuisines, is considered the essential of the tourism nowadays. Bangkok, Thailand is one of the most places worth to pay a visit for its finger-licking culinary experience. Either the restaurants or the street food vendors each have its own essential. Gagan, the awarded best restaurant in Asia, located at 68 Sukhumvit 31 Klong Thani, Watana, in the heart of Bangkok. Named after the chef Gagan Anand himself, Gagan served progressive Indian cuisines. The chef representation of classic Indian dishes with some modern twist to the guests. Gagan is housed in a colonial-style townhouse, which give a beautiful and elegant yet relaxing Mediterranean ambience. Like the other hot restaurant, to be seated in Gagan, guests must make a reservation by a minimum of a month in advance. But I'm suggesting you to make reservation as early as possible, so planning ahead is required. If you're lucky enough, you may get the best seat in the house, seated right in the chef table at the heart of the open kitchen itself. Such an experience to see the chef at work making your courses. Gagan signatures. The emoji menu, a list of 20-25 courses we are going to sail through the evening dinner. The signature menu change for every 3 months, but some of them is fixed on the menu list. It costs around 4,000 to 5,000 THB, varies by the menu is served by that period of time. The menu doesn't have words describing the dishes. It's only emojis, which are not described as to break the language barriers and adding some spark to your imagination and expectation on what it will be like. The first half is served at the fast warm-up, as all dishes being snack size and it's meant to be eaten with your hands. Almost every dishes are really true presented at the table with an explanation why chef had come up with this particular dish or how you should eat it. Now of the main dish is crab curry with coconut rice, represented by the crab emoji on the menu. No Indian food experience is complete without a curry dish. The meal is served in a traditional Indian tiffin box with the essence of Mongolian cuisines. The first box has prawn fritters. Next box contains some delicious crab curry cooked with coconut milk. To accompany the curry there is rice with fresh coconut temper with mustard seeds. It delivers a rich savory treat on the mouth with the flavors of spices enhance the aftertaste flavor. Overall, it is the most memorable experience, like having a culinary trip around India in just 2 hours. Such a crazy food up and down. A deliciously beautiful represented food. It isn't every day you get to experience indie food like this. Great food and fun experience, although the price is a bit pricey, but it's definitely worth to pay for a lifetime experience, and would likely without hesitation to revisit this restaurant again in the future. Unfortunately, Gagan permanently closed its door on August 25, 2019, and Chef Anat is now opening and operating a fancy restaurant open only on weekends in Fukuoka, Japan. Mirazur, France. On the border between France and Italy, between Clisse and overseeing the dazzling Mediterranean, sits the crowded best restaurant in the world for 2019. Mirazur is located at 30 HP Aristide Briand, Menton, France. At the coastal town of French Riviera, Chef Mauro Collegreco restaurant has received its third Michelin star, making it sit at the throne amongst the top-tier restaurants in the world. The Mirazur merged a classical French cuisines, the Italian flamboyance, and a earthy Argentinian belief in the power of the ingredients on the plate. Mirazur strives to only use the freshest product from the restaurant-owned garden just across the street, or the local product found in the market of Menton, Ventimiglia. The setting of Mirazur, set overlooking the sea at the end of the winding coastal road along the Col d'Azur on the border of France and Italy, with the sunshine through the windows of restaurant giving a astonishing seaside ambience to how chef Cole Greco fine artwork. With 9 mouth-watering courses, simple lunch become a culinary adventure, combining explosive flavors with the most gourmet recipes. Take a seat to your unforgettable lifetime memories. However, to experience at lunch at Mirazur requires a month in advance reservation. Lunch begins on the terrace, surrounded by bright green plants and elegant sofas. First off, a signature appetizer is served, a homemade bread called pain du partage, made from different stone ground floors. The bread is warm to the touch, crispy outside and pillowy soft on the inside. The plate is set in the middle of the table, as each guest reaches for a piece tear off. The signature main dish is a Gillardeux oyster. The oyster sits proudly in the middle of the plate, surrounded by dessert pie and a descendant shallon cream, offering some sweet and creamy treats as a relief from the plum salty oyster. Main dessert was another Mirazur signature dish and consisted of Grand Cru of Peru Cunco, Maison du Plantour with brown raspberry ice cream and sauce pale olive oil. The bitter side of the chocolate hit well with the creamy ice cream, and the olive oil may be a little odd to hear an olive oil used on an ice cream, but somehow it worked. Giving some savory touch to the dessert is surely very tricky make it the chef kiss. With the cost about 300 until 400 euro to get once in a lifetime feelings to it at the best restaurant in the world. I would say it's definitely worth the price to taste the food made a tired chef and feel seaside Mediterranean breeze officially would be your timeless life event. Thank you.